All right, guys, this is our last day of grammar for week 3. And what we're going to look at today is using word roots to help us understand the meaning of words that we might not know what they mean. So first, let's take a look at what a word root is. It is a part of a word from which other words are formed, and they carry some meaning behind it. Let's take a look at the word root viv, V-I-V. As I show you guys these examples, ask yourself, what do they all have in common with their definition? Because that is what the word root viv means. Here we go. Let's take a look. Survive, to live through. The hiker survived the avalanche by digging a small breathing hole in the snow. Revive, to bring back to life. Doctors use various modern techniques to revive patients whose hearts have stopped. Vivid, lifelike. The memory of the carnival was still vivid in Sarah's mind months later. And vivacious, lively in temper or spirit, full of life. Kind of like Miss Pipitone in the classroom, right? Hopefully you guys will be able to see my vivacious self soon. But back to our lesson. What does the word root viv, V-I-V, mean? That's right. It means live or life. That's what all of these definitions have in common. After knowing these words, let's see if we can fill in the sentences. Oh, don't look at the answers. Sorry, guys. Let's try that again. Let's fill in the sentences. My plant looked like it was dying, so I gave it water to blanket. That's right, to revive it, to bring it back to life, because V-I-V means life. The blank colors were true to life. The vivid colors, because remember, vivid means lifelike. And people need food and water to survive. That's right, to live. They all have something to do with living and life. Let's take a look at some other word roots. I have this chart here, which is also in your remote learning packet. And some examples. So we have the word root com, which means together, which means company. Or an example is company, being together with others. Mand means to order, like demand, when Miss Pipitone demands that you do your homework. I'm ordering you to do your homework. Port means to carry. Portable, something that you can carry around with you. Photo means light, like photograph. When you take a picture of something, you usually have a flash to help light it. Struct, to build, like instruct. Trans, which means across, transport. And the one we just looked at, viv, means life. An example is survive. I'm going to read this passage like we normally would in school, and I want to see you guys do those flashing light bulbs at home when we come across a word that has one of the word roots that we looked at, okay? So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And we'll just discuss their meaning. All right. A hummingbird's long journey. Can you imagine flying non-stop for 18 to 22 hours in the spring? For 18 to 22 hours? In the spring, hummingbirds transport themselves from southern Mexico to the United States. If you notice, guys, we have the word trans, the word root trans, which means across. If you look back at our chart, trans means across. So for the example transport, it means to carry something across. And I don't know if you noticed this, but we even had another word root, port. Looking back to our chart, port means to carry. So the hummingbirds are carrying something across, which is what they're doing. They're carrying themselves across the world. They fly for about 500 miles across the Gulf of Mexico. Sometimes this tiny bird often flies in the company of other birds. Sorry guys, highlighting and talking is not my strong suit. But if you take a look, I want to underline now, we have the word root come, which means together. Well, that makes sense. The birds are flying together. Usually, though, it flies alone without a companion. Oh, purple highlighter. So we have come again, meaning together, describing how the bird flies without somebody. To survive, a hummingbird eats insects and sips nectar from flowers. We have survive again. Remember to live. We talked about the word root VIV. A hummingbird eats insects and sips nectar from flowers. Before leaving, it will eat to store extra fat for the long trip. It will lose about half of that weight during the journey. When a female hummingbird arrives, she constructs a nest in the shape of a cup. Remember, struct means to build, so she's building her nest. The nest is about the size of a golf ball. Then she lays 2 eggs. As the summer ends, the old and young hummingbirds begin to eat more and more. The changing light tells them that fall is on the way. It's time to make the long journey back to Mexico. Great job identifying those word roots, guys. You'll continue to identify word roots on the next page in your resource learning packet. Don't forget to go back to the chart in your resource learning packet. This is really going to help you guys out. All right, so I'll see you guys later on for writing class and for reading class.